The views expressed for All Wrestling Talk is the views of C Double, not of any other promotion. Thank you. Watch the show and keep your mouth shut. Ladies and gentlemen, this is All Wrestling Talk Nation with C Double. Sit back, enjoy the Indie Superstar Spotlight with special guest Chris Henry. Now here's your host, C Double. Hey guys, what's going on? Yes, this is my guest Chris the Hype Henry. Yes, this is a special Saturday edition, bro. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Pleasure being here.
So guys, sit back, relax, All Wrestle Talk, AWTNNation.com, or you can go to Twitter at AWTNC2. So, guys, check it out. Hashtag join the AWTN Nation. We got a lot of shows going down, so we're going to be pumping the show that you're going to be at tonight, and also, the one in Douglasville we talked about just before. So, Chris, thanks for being here. You got your associate here with that.
This is a friend of mine. Go ahead and say hi to the you might as well. This is Chris Dunnell, so
Donnell.
He's the designated driver.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
I need him for that. He's useful.
Yeah.
He's my, if we're in the car and we're driving, he's straight up the guy that I'm like, hey, text these people and let them know I'm going to be here in like 5 minutes.
And that's usually the best person to have right there.
Yes.
I had one friend in here. I was like, text. He goes, what? I'm like, never mind. I got this.
Otherwise, I'm sitting there and he's like, hey, watch the road, idiot.
What are you doing? I got this. Don't worry, man. So, But, dude, thank you so much for calling. And you set this up. And, basically this is about you. So this is what my first question I love to ask everybody. What got you into this business? What made you decide, indie wrestling. Yeah, let me do this.
This is a very fun story. And I told this on Wrestle Goons before. See, I actually had no intention of becoming a professional wrestler at all. It's not that I didn't like professional wrestling. I love it. I really do. I grew up with it. I watched it as a child with my father.
Yeah.
But to me, it seemed like that's a 1 in a million kind of deal. That's, the stars have to align and all that crap. So this is the story. I was working my regular job. I was part of the Marine Corps. I just recently got out. And a buddy of mine was in the Navy. And he wanted to be a wrestler big time. He was like, he's in love. He's like, oh, I want to be the next John Cena. I want to be it. I want to be that guy. So freaking, I remember he hits me up and he's like, hey man, I need somebody to help me work out. I need somebody to help me get in shape for all of this stuff. And, me being Mr. Marine, I was like, you know what, fine, cool, let's go do this. So I go and I work out with him here and there. Then he's like, you know what, you should do this with me. I would love for you to be my tag partner or whatever. You're a fit guy, you'd love it, you'd have fun. I was like, no, yeah, trust me. So the first time I go to actually do something with him, literally, I gave a guy like $40. This fellow named Wolfgang Timms.
Mm-hmm.
His family's been in the wrestling business forever, and he's literally got me in their backyard. And
the humble beginnings.
This is true story. This is true story. In the backyard, and he's teaching me like basic wrestling stuff and how to take chops, and I'm like, this isn't very official. I'm like, whatever, fine, okay. I was like, whatever. So I give it a week.
Yeah.
To see how this is going. There's no talk of shows or anything. Just give it a week to see what's going on. Anyways, we get to the point where we're running. The guy that I'm with, he actually ends up having an issue. I forget what it was. I think it had something to do with his kidney or something. And I was like, well, you know what? That was really cool. I'm going to go back to my life. One day I was feeling some type of way about some chick who left me. I don't know. Yeah.
It happens.
And I'm over at Buffalo Wild Wings having a drink, chilling, watching the basketball game. And he apparently saw it. He comes up. He's like, hey, man, give it one more shot. Come with me. I've got legit training this time, whatnot. Just come up. All right, fine. When do you train? Sunday. Whatever. Cool. It's Sunday. I wasn't really doing anything except for going to church. So I find out the place is 3 minutes from my house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, literally 3. Like, I could walk there if I wanted to. I go there, and the first day, I was like, oh, there's a wrestling ring and everything. That's where I met JJ Boone.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually the co-trainer, and they had us doing all these exercises and whatnot, which, in all honesty, I smoke checked. I mean, after all the Marine Corps stuff, this was like, whatever.
It's not as intense as it was for...
Try it on me, fools. Do you not know? Have you not learned? Okay.
God, actor too.
But sure enough, the next day, I meet 8-time World Tag Team Champion Robert Gibson, Rock and Roll Express. He's the head trainer out there in Douglasville, and he has me running drills and doing all sorts of little stuff, and he's just cracking these little smiles. And he's like, you're a natural, kid. And he has if you ever meet him, he has that raspy voice. He hates when I do it. I know he does. I don't care.
Yeah.
I see him all the time.
It's not like he's going to come after you.
It's not like he's going to be like, boy, I saw that crap.
You look at him, you were able to watch the internet?
You were watching that?
That's pretty cool.
But
watch the show.
And the rest was kind of history. I just ended up training in Douglasville in that little area. It's next to a boxing club, just away from the world. I was not the guy who went to all the shows, meeting everybody beforehand. I wasn't hanging out in the back. I was never that guy. It was just me, that wrestling ring, him, and the other training. There's another one that's been coming up and getting a lot of circulation. Damien. He goes by Damien Bennett now.
Okay, yeah, he's actually going to be on one of the shows.
Oh, yeah. Well then, good for him.
I mean, I'm talking about one of the other shows. You can have the show too.
No, well, I love him. The thing I love about him is that he's very competitive. He's like me. He's very competitive. So we're always that way with each other. We're always like trying to elevate each other's games. So that's why I love training with him and whatnot. But it was just us for like a year, and then finally had my first show in Douglasville, hometown. It was everything I could have asked for. Man, God, this is awesome, champ.
Cool.
Real talk. It was that good. People loved it. I hate there's no film of it. Mark Grayson had film of it, and he's like, oh, it's on like some hard drive on his camera or something. And I bugged him for like a month. I was like, dude, I want it. But no, apparently it's lost in translation. But that's pretty much how I got started, and the rest is history. Now I'm doing everything I can, busting my butt, trying to make this happen.
So, all right, let's talk about, because one, you said you were in the Marine Corps, and we all know how diligent, heavy, painstaking, hard tolls that could put on your body. But the question is, when training, you guys have to go through the bumps and everything. What was the hardest thing for you training-wise? Was it kind of, because you said the physical part wasn't so hard because of being in the Marine Corps, but was it the mental? Was it just kind of the psychology of it? What was something for you that may have been the challenge that some guys didn't think of?
Okay. In all honesty, a lot of it really wasn't that challenging. It was. I've always been kind of naturally athletic. A lot of the people who review me on any show, they say I'm athletic and all that crap. The issue was, I think, starting to understand probably the psychology. It took me a sec to realize you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, but putting it in a way that makes sense, that translates to an audience. I did have trouble with arm drags. I did that. That took me a sec to get proper. A little longer than everything else. I think it took me maybe 2 or 3 days. But now Robert says I have one of the prettiest arm drags he's ever seen. It's different than everybody else's, because a lot of guys they do this, which I'm gonna say right now. This is straight from Robert Gibson too. This thing, do it. Because if you do that, this elbow can come into you and then jack the other guy up. And me, anytime you see it, I pull this number. I call it the alligator.
Okay.
Every single time. If you see me go do the arm drag, alligator style. And then the guy will come in like this. Like I was telling you before, a guy who's now training out there, Trevor Ion, he actually came out there and he learned that, and he was just blown away within the first 10 minutes, all the good stuff that he was learning from Robert. He's a fantastic trainer to have. Yeah.
So talking about Robert, your trainer, because, in the wrestling, it's almost like key to have like one of the best assets to be is the trainer. What is it for you? What was it like being able to be trained by Robert Gibson? What has he meant to being able to help you learn?
He's been like, in a way, like a father figure to me in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He is what helped to mold and create me. Like, I have my own little things that I was able to bring to the table, but without him teaching me the finer details, it would mean nothing.
Yeah.
He's that guy at early in the morning will hit me up and say, "Get your butt up, come on, let's do this now, today, stay an extra hour," constantly making sure that I am on my P's and Q's. Because when I first started out, I was somewhat busy and I was trying to make sure I could balance everything in life. See, now I'm far more deep into the game, so I'm like, okay, I need to work out on this day, this day, this day. I need to stop by. What I like to do is I try to hit the gym 3 days out of the week, hit the wrestling ring 2 days out of the week.
Yep.
Saturday wrestle, Sunday wrestle if I also get booked, and if not wrestle on Sunday, then use it as a rest day.
Yeah.
And all the while trying to keep up on promoting myself.
How has social media? I mean, we talked about it just a few minutes ago, but I talked a lot with the guys, the veterans, the guys that travel a lot now, and they're getting accustomed to it. But how has it been beneficial for you to be able just to get on there, be able to let people know where you're at, be able to communicate all around?
Oh, it's been a huge part. It's been an absolutely phenomenally huge part. The fun thing is, me starting out was a little different than what I've heard from other guys. I was really blessed. I didn't have to put up with like any backseat driving. I didn't have to be the guy who was just chilling in the back watching everybody else. My favorite statement is the kid that doesn't get to play on the playground.
Yeah.
I always got to play on the playground, man. I'd like to think a big part of that is saying, this was the guy who trained me, yada yada. You can send me out there and I will be okay.
Yeah. Where one guy would be like, "Oh, I was trained by who?
Yeah.
Watch this YouTube video." You go to but we'll take the guy that was trained by the professional.
Yeah, it really is. It's awesome. I mean, I saw you were familiar with Southern Fried. The first night I was at Southern Fried was actually a title match for me with Chip Day, Cameron Cade, and another guy, Harlan Hayes. He's from the Lance Storm Academy. I don't know, I think he kind of fell out of it. I don't know. I haven't heard too much about him. I know he's doing something about being a flight attendant, but yeah, it is what it is. But, my first night there, I got thrown into this title fight. freaking, I was given an opportunity after someone saw me at one place, and I was out at the AWE in Atlanta. Um, and that's kind of how it's been. It just kind of snowballed. It's like this guy saw me, then this guy saw me, then this guy saw me, and it's like, hey, get him out here. Hey, get him out there. Get him out there. And I'm like, cool. But as far as social media goes, huge part.
Yeah.
Because even though I'm young and like, obviously I'm not going to be that feature guy on the poster right now. I got to pay my dues. I got to work my way up to that status. If you don't want to put me on that poster, that's cool. It's fine. I completely understand. I'm going to do myself. Have you seen some of the things I do, hype versus whatnot? I make those myself.
Yeah.
To try to promote this fight. I'm going to make it seem like, hey, my fight is the one. Come see it.
Yeah.
We're about to go nuts. And all it is just like a pick stitch, some photo editing. I just fix it around, make it look nice, and here's the presentation.
Well, what I like about it is that, sometimes you got to put the onus on it. And what's so difficult with some wrestling organizations, they don't want to tell you who you're wrestling because they don't know who all's showing up. Then you got those that go, look, this is your opponent, this is who you'll be facing, in a couple of weeks. And then, if something happens, then they work around it. But then I know myself, I love being able to tell people, this is who you're going against. Here's their number. Figure out what you want. Here's my bullet points. This is what I want to see happen in the match. You guys are the artists. Make it happen. Feel free to do whatever. Like as long as the key stuff. Now, in a type of match, when you just meet someone, do you go over your match a lot or do you call it in the ring? What's the best ways that you do? Because, you don't have to go all out.
I was trained old school, so you're kind of delving into some things I don't like to reveal.
Oh, well then.
But,
let's
I will
put it
say
this way. Do you like to know who your opponent is first?
I will say that, okay, I'll put it this way. I do like to know who I'm going against.
Yeah.
That way I can study them, see how they move, what to be ready for. I'd say the biggest thing is making sure that we both have an understanding of the craft.
Yeah.
Because I've been able to have a lot of matches that were very good, and it's my first time against this opponent. Semper Fi Cody Roberts.
Okay.
He and I had our matchup, and then when we were done, I remember we had a little conversation, and when I told him how long I'd been working, he was like, "You're kidding? Really that long?" I was like, "I thought it would have been longer than that. I would have never known." And I was like, "Yes, sir, absolutely." Like, it's not half bad, brother.
So you get a lot of good compliments on the style. What is your style? If someone came in to watch you for the first time, what is there someone to expect? What is it? What is your style?
You know what's funny? Everyone says I'm high flying, and I'm not. I don't actually leave the ground except for maybe twice in a match.
Yeah.
I have a heck of a vertical, I will admit. I can jump pretty doggone high. And my finisher is one that I've yet to have anyone tell me that they've seen or anything. It's a very unique finisher. Which, by the way, I want to say it right now. The finishing move is called the Hyper Strike. Okay? It's not a headbutt. What I do is I springboard, and then I come at the guy, hand to the face. It's like a mush. It's like doggone. You ever seen Alien?
Yeah.
That's me. I springboard. I grab dude by the forehead, by the face. I'm coming down. I weigh about 165, 170, depending on how many sandwiches I've eaten. Friggin' all that weight on the back of your head, you're going back, man.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I haven't tried it against really big guys yet. But majority of guys are like straight up and go back. And next thing you know, the back of their head is ringing. So that's the Hyper Strike. It's not a flying head, but it's anything. It's called the Hyper Strike. If you want to do a review or anything, that's what it is.
I think I know some of those people that have done those reviews. That's the sad part.
They have. They're always trying to. They either say it's something they haven't seen, or they're like, it's a springboard move. And I'm like, it's more than just a springboard move. It's special.
I made it myself.
I did. I remember when I first did it, Robert just was like, do that again. Because he was actually the one who suggested it. He wanted to see if I could do a springboard.
Yeah.
Period. I was like, okay, cool. So I get up there and I wonder if I'll be able to do this. Boing, whee! All right, I can do it. Like, cool, you can do an elbow drop with that. You can do whatever you want. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that because I've seen that done by that's too plain. What can I do that's extra? And what actually happened was, the Mortal Kombat 10 game?
Yeah.
I don't know where the connection came, but I'm sitting there, a Scorpion, I'm hearing, get over here! And all of a sudden, I just got this idea of like,
oh yeah.
And next thing you know, I was in training with this guy. He's not actually even training anymore, but I was like, hey dude, do me a favor. I'm gonna grab you by the head. Alright. And try to be okay after this is done. Okay, sure enough. Boing. Bah! And one of the managers, Angel, who's out in Douglasville, straight up with, what was that?
And the guy's got a concussion.
And he's sitting there like, thank you, God. That's awesome.
What was it I wanted to ask you was, who's like the guys right now that you've watched that you just enjoy studying? Who's like some of the wrestlers that maybe not had a matchup with, but because you said you'll be able to, you'll get online.
You're talking about anybody. Just anybody.
Anybody in general. And then if you want to go to the indie circuit where you're, that you personally would like to wrestle.
Well, the fun thing about me, personally, anybody I want, I'll wrestle anybody.
Yeah,
I'll be more than happy to wrestle anybody. I'm not too picky. There are some I'd like to have a match with, but I've seen lots of guys do that. I want to wrestle such and such in 2016. I'm not going to do that. You people are not going to get to know who I want to wrestle. You give me the opponent and I'll come out and do my thing. But as far as people who inspired me, I actually do have like a top three in that. And they each have, number 3 would have to be Kurt Angle.
Oh, God,
I
yes.
love Kurt Angle's technical ability. I love the way he carries himself. To me, he is like just legitimate what you would want as a champion, as a professional wrestler. Obviously, I'm sure he has a great work ethic, all that. Number 2 would be Shawn Michaels for inspirational reasons, for the fact that he's that guy. You watch a match of Shawn Michaels, you're going to believe in your heart of hearts that this man is going to give his all, pour it out. What was it? It was a Survivor Series match, 5-on-5, way back when. I think it was SmackDown versus Raw, which, by the way, they need to start doing that stuff legitimate again. That was awesome. The SmackDown versus the competition of it and all that.
I think they should.
You made it it mattered then.
I think they have an opportunity if they just can just go ahead and just transfer a lot of the NXT guys.
Now it's just like, oh, it's tradition. Let's go ahead and get 5 guys together. No, back then it used to mean something. It used to
especially
matter.
when they were able to hype it between SmackDown and Raw.
Yes, definitely. And Shawn Michaels was in that one, and he's doggone bloodied and battered. It's 3-on-1, and he's and JR's in the background. Oh my God, he can't take anymore. JR Giles, friggin', he comes out of nowhere. Super kick. He got it. 1, 2, and it is 2-on-1 now. Oh, here comes JBL. Oh my God, he got JBL. And he's just unconscious, like, one more guy. And, in the end, he didn't win. But he gets that nitty gritty in your heart to make you believe he's got it.
Yes.
But the number 1 guy that I personally love and I love studying, and when Robert tells me go home and study old school and study Ricky Steamboat, which, by the way, when it comes to old school, I do study the crap out of Ricky Steamboat. I love Ricky Steamboat. The number 1 guy is AJ Styles. I can't help it. The guy is like addicting to watch. The way he carries himself, the way his athleticism, his technical skills, because I'm pretty sure, I think he has like a mat background.
Oh, yeah,
a long time ago.
Yeah.
The way he flies, just I could list on. Man, I'll be honest, I'm an honest guy. Mike's skills aren't super awesome, but they're not horrible either. But if I had to say anybody who's got a total package, I'd say it's him. And I'm very excited because February 5th, he's going to be in, where is it? Blue Ridge, I think?
I believe so.
DCSW, if I got the promotion correctly, against Corey Hollis. Both are obviously great competitors, and I've already talked to the booker, and he knows how I feel about it. It's like, if anybody doesn't show, you're the first guy I'm calling. Okay.
Then you make a phone call. Okay, I need you to take this guy out.
That's the only time. If I meet him, that's the only time I might actually go fan mode for a second. I might, because I try to present myself professionally.
Yeah.
When I met Scott Hall, I shook his hand and like, hey sir, how you doing? Met Stevie Richards, we had a little conversation and whatnot. But if I meet AJ Styles, I'm like, hey, buddy. How's it go?
Just don't look like you're about to be on The Price is Right. Like,
I'm going to have some other wrestler like, hey, dude.
Step out.
Okay?
Step out. Stop marking. I'm sorry. It's hard.
This fool's in the background like,
focus. But so, and I love how you described each person because, see, 96 was the year I saw Kurt Angle win the gold medal in Atlanta. So, yeah, I'm 38.
cool.
Get over it. So I'm old. But I got to see it. So, yeah. And then when I saw him get into wrestling, I'm going, oh, this could be good. This could be really good. And then what you said about Sean is so freaking right. I mean, he just invokes that emotion in fans to think, oh, he ain't got it. And sure enough, he either pulls it out or gets that close and you even feel more for
And
him.
what I want to do is I want to be able to take traits from guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you asked about indie circuit. Well, there's nobody in particular on indie circuit right now that I'm like, I want to watch this guy and study from him and learn from him as well. No, what I like to do is I like to be a sponge. I like to watch their match. I like to see what traits, what doggone do I like about them, and freaking Space Jam, see if I can freaking steal their abilities and absorb it.
He's coming up with some really good movies reference and everything. God, we gotta do
This is why. Let me tell you a true story.
Uh-huh.
Hello, dog. You want to chill with me?
That's the co-host.
The co-host can chill with me. Freaking true story. Whenever we're in practice and whatnot, and we have mic time, practice on the mic and whatnot. I was excused from it like all the time. It was like the one class was like, hey, no, go over there, go do something else. You're fine. You're perfectly fine. You don't need it. Because I have one of those personalities. Freaking true story. All the time, we would sit there, we'd talk smack to each other in the back, and Damien, I would make him laugh so hard at some of the things I'd say. One in particular, like, he was like, you short blue loompa loompa something something something. I remember I came out, I was like, shut up, you fagmosexual, you fart Skittles dust. And he he bent over laughing, got off the apron. He's doggone on the apron, and it's over, and he's dying. And just all the time, I would just come up with ridiculous stuff. And then for the first time in Douglasville, we got the microphone, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to just get this going. And he calls me out, and I go to retort, and I think he let me get out like maybe 3 or 4 words, and he's like, just yes or no, man. And I'm like, if you give me a moment, you Ricky Reed said, yes or no. I'm like, I know why you don't want me to talk, because I will say something smart and make you look silly. I was like, yes, all right, fine, I'll see you later. Bye.
I'm mad.
Let me say nothing. And when we got done, I straight up looked, I was like, I know why you didn't let me say nothing. I know why you didn't let me.
Oh, God. I've been around those when, oh, God. You get that one guy that makes everyone laugh, and everyone's trying to stay straight face. I'm here. I'm just chuckling because I can. But the guy that's supposed to be the monster of the company has a mask, so he is just laughing his butt off. He's like, and I'm going, oh, God. If I'm around him too much, I'm going to bust out.
I told you about Trevor. You know, he started training with me. I know he's a weird character. Trevor Ion's a weird character, but he does know how to hold a conversation.
Oh.
And he's a friend of the Gundam series. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
And we were talking about the freaking one that was G Gundam, and I told him if I ever match up against him before I do my move, I'm gonna sit there and say the whole thing that the burning gun is like. I'm gonna be like, this hand of mine glows with an awesome power. It roars and tells me to defeat you.
You know what? The idea we said with the camera, we may have to have both y'all like one do one, the other does the other. Oh my god! All right, so now let's just go. Yeah, we're gonna get off the ring for a little bit.
Okay.
Personality wise, because you definitely a lot of cosplay. I'm hearing definitely a lot of references.
Thank you.
You know, gotta ask. You know, have you ever like looked at some of the stuff and go, man, this would actually go well if I just brought it into the ring with me or something? Or like a personality trait or something that you just
ring wise, I've thought of a lot of different things that I could do in the future. I like to think I'm very creative with what I do in the ring, which includes gear and stuff. Because I know I've been wearing the blue for a minute, but at some point I'm gonna have to get new stuff, new colors, which hopefully will be soon. Tax season's coming up. But as far as stuff like that, I have thought of a few things. I know Adrian Armour actually gave me an idea at one point. He threw out something that looks like Static Shocks in black and yellow. And I was like, actually, you know what? That would be awesome.
I mean, it's cool. Just like, I'll never forget, I heard one wrestler say, guys, because we went to a show, and the guys that asked us to come and be a part and bring our ring were like, was putting their first show on. And we went in, and they all looked the same. And they looked like they got their gear from Walmart. Let's just put it that way. And we just looked, and I'll never forget one guy who I'm on the outs with, but it's because him, not me.
Hey,
but
happens.
Yeah, exactly. But the best thing he did say was this: guys, this is the one time we could dress up like freaks. And you go to Walmart. I'm like,
I will say this. There's two things. The blue is obviously getting a little worn. I love the blue. I've called myself #Blue Bomber. Well, somebody called me #Blue Bomber one time, and I was like, cool. It's Mega Man. All right. But,
oh my god.
Freaking
video games.
Freaking Whitesburg, Georgia has a show.
Yep.
And that is the one show I can't stand wearing blue, because I came there and I had blue on. And all of a sudden, and I'll admit this was kind of me in high school too. I was the guy who would do one thing and then somebody else might do it, and I'd be like, I know what you're doing. Go to Whitesburg, and I swear the next day, and there's some wrestlers that can attest to this. The next show, everybody had blue on.
Oh god.
And I was like, now y'all know I'm just starting out, and this is all I got right now.
I got that starter budget right now.
It really actually is. I mean, the most expensive thing I have is the trunks.
Yeah.
Everything else, kick pads, everything is actually not that expensive. I'd say my wrestler shoes, they cost a pretty penny, but I'm hoping that the next thing that I get can look even more legit, make me look more professional.
Yeah.
I'd like to think what I've got gets me by pretty good right now, but I just know better presentation is a big part.
It is, and that's what the other thing I wanted to ask, because in the business, you got your veterans. When you say veterans, everyone wants to go immediately to the grizzly war vet looking guy that is all gruffy and hates everything.
No, that's not.
But it's not true. But but I'm just saying, when a lot of guys, that's like their first image. But what I think is when I hear vets, is guys have been 10 plus. And are they always evolving? Are they always looking and trying to figure new things? What do you think about, the locker room, the dynamic where you get to meet these guys and get to learn from them?
Well, every locker room is different.
Yeah.
Every locker room is different. I love a good locker room where we're all able to communicate, and in a way like the Corps.
Mm-hmm.
In the Marine Corps, you have your rank structure, but usually, the Lance schoolies or the privates will hang out with their own. But you can easily come to a staff sergeant or whatnot and say, hey, this is what's going on with me. Is there any way you can help? Can you talk to me for a sec? And they'll still do that too. Even all the way up to the tippy tip top, the captains, doggone, be like, if you ever need anything, here's my number. And then the master sergeant will be like, hey, don't you call him. Don't you call him. He's way too high up on the food chain. Don't you call him.
Should I call?
The funny thing is, and I gotta be honest, wrestling's not always like that. It's not all the locker rooms are like that. Now, there are a lot that are, but there are some vets that I've seen that are like, I'm gonna keep to myself. You're not on my radar right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of messed up.
It is.
But I've met plenty who have been fantastic. Awesome when TC was always ready to take me over to the corner and be like, hey man, this is what's going on. Here's what you can do to improve yourself. Pretty Boy Floyd gave me good advice. Corey Hollis gave me good advice when he watched my first match. He told me there was a lot of stuff he liked, and then he also told me there were things that I could improve on. Which you always want to hear that. You always do. I remember the one thing that did mess me up. Another true story. First time Scott Hall came in, me and Damien were practicing. Scott Hall just randomly walks in, and it stopped. Like, you ever seen the Royal Rumble when like a legend or somebody comes out and everybody's like, oh my god? Sure enough, we were there, and my like, hey yo. We just stopped and we were like, Scott Hall just walked into our training facility.
So, you go, is he sober?
Does he have a toothpick in his mouth?
That's how you know it's Scott Hall. I'll never forget. And what was so funny, seeing Scott Hall in real life, when I got to see his son wrestle, and he'll just come out and he sits at Chico. I'm like, dude, he still thinks he's a wrestler. This is cool. Because I was doing a video thing. He goes, oh, yeah, man. I go, well, hey. Okay.
But sure enough, he comes in, and Robert's like, I want to see a match between you and Damien. Like, okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead and run through. We're going to try to match what we did for my debut. And so we did, and it went really good. It went smooth. And we get done, and Scott looks at me, and he's like, you were great, kid. I really felt the emotion. I enjoyed you, yada, yada, etc. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And the whole time I went hands behind. Yes, sir. And I was waiting for the, okay, you need to do this. But it never came, and I was like, you don't care about me? And then he goes to Damien, and he actually did. He was like, it was good, but, and starts to rip him a new one. And I was like, and I remember I looked at Damien, was like, man, Scott Hall just got on me. And I was like, he liked me, but I wanted him to tell me I sucked at something.
Dude, you just said I sucked at something.
And that's honestly been like the funny thing. Everyone's looked at me, and a lot of veterans. I got to work Thunderbolt Patterson's 50th anniversary, and they've all been great. They've all showered me with like a ton of compliments, and I do appreciate it. It motivates me and keeps me going.
Be quiet, Blake.
But at the same time, it sits a little funny with some in the back. Yeah, I can see it sometimes because they're like, that kid should be reffing, or he should be doing such and such, the whole pay your dues thing. Which I am one. I will set a ring up in a heartbeat, dude. I don't play with that. I will go. Yeah. I will be the one pick it up as long as, hey, do you need help with this? Do you need help with that? I'm more than happy to. But there are some who see me and they're like, he shouldn't be doing this or that right now. And the funny thing is, it just hasn't played out that way. I'd like to think the reason it didn't was because of the commentator who trained me. Being in the Marines, it helped me be very professional, present myself in a good way, and they were so supportive when I finally got done.
Yeah. I mean, and we hear so many horror stories with some promoters, some work. I mean, and it's like, it's refreshing to hear that people will look, and it's like, I always said, I will give respect where the respect is given back, and I will always treat people like I want to be treated. So I hate it when I hear guys get screwed out of their money, or guys show up and they're like, okay, you could just be in the background. It's like, no, I mean, people want to help. People want to be a part of a show. People want to, do whatever they can. What is it that the one thing you just love about, what keeps you coming back? What keeps you going to that ring and, working out those 3 days and running those ropes?
I believe this is what I was meant to do. I believe that, when I was in the Marine Corps, a lot of times I was wondering, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? I was going through some things with an ex of mine, an ex-fiance, and I had a lot of questions going on as to, is this really where I'm supposed to be for the rest of my life? Then the opportunity to wrestle comes in, and it just, when I say it took off, man. Like, I haven't even been doing this a year, and all of a sudden, I've had 2 talk shows, I've had 7 or 8 title fights on different promotions. I'm more than happy, and I think that's a big part that I'll say to anybody else who's young out there trying to, hey, don't be afraid to talk to anybody. I don't care what promotion it is, where, if you're confident in what you have, freaking shoot your name, throw your name in the hat. Worst case scenario, they'll say no.
Yeah. Or we're booked, but...
And be like, we're booked. We don't know who you are. But at least you let them know you're there, and you have the gumption to say, this is me, and this is what I have to offer you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can make your show better. One of the guys I love, and I see a lot of his posts, and I've met him once or twice in person. I love his work ethic, like, beyond. And I've told Tommy Pinarelli this as well. Francisco Ciato. I love his work ethic. Yeah. I am freaking like, dude is a work horse.
Mm-hmm.
Dude was cutting a promo at the gym one day, and somebody had the nerve to walk by, and he lit that dude a new one and was like, hey, get out of here right now. And he told me and Harlan, he's like, hey, guard this door for us, please. Make sure nobody else bugs us, because he's serious about his craft. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate guys like that. And I appreciate seeing guys like that who bust their butt for what they believe in. And I truly believe that this is what I want to do with my life, that I'm going to succeed with it. I'll tell anybody, give me 3 years. And I know that's a little ambitious, because I've heard most people's time frames as to when they start to, get signed to stuff and whatnot. Give me 3 years. I'm going to do everything I can to be a part of a major brand of wrestling.
Yeah. Well, that leads always to my question is, in 5 years, how do you want to see, 2 parts, how do you want to see indie wrestling benefit? Because it is something that people, it is that breed that, as I like to call it, the high school mentality of, you got the young kids always doing stuff and playing sports. You always want to see it grow. And also, where do you see yourself in the 5 years? You said 3, so I'm going to say 5. Because I was like, that's good round number.
It's cool. It's cool.
But,
I'm
5
also
years,
realistic.
Yeah,
3 years might be a little fast, but if I can make it happen, I'm busting my butt and
hey, determination is what it is. If you can get it done in 3, you tell me. I'm good.
Freaking.
This is your story, not mine.
Well, hey, freaking. As far as indie wrestling goes, overall teamwork. The one thing I've heard coming in, and this is a guy who's coming in and is more than happy to say the way it is and not be influenced by anyone, because worst case scenario, and I'll keep it moving and be perfectly fine. It goes right over my head, whatever you may or may not think. Just teamwork, because there's so many different promotions. Now imagine if all these bookers and everyone could work together to put on their shows, wherever they might be, or combine to make a show. Because there are literally guys that won't have matches with other people because of little minute things that may or may not have gone wrong.
Yeah.
Differences of opinion keep people off. Oh, we don't want that guy because he thinks this should be done this way. it just messes up a lot of things. It takes away matchups that you could have. I think right now there's one or two matchups that I can honestly say, because there was a dispute at one promotion in particular. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do anything like that.
It's all good.
But I am going to say there was a dispute at this one promotion. It's the only one I've had a dispute at so far, where I was there. Things went smooth. They were told, okay, we'll hit you back up, and everybody else, all the workers, were like, come back. We're keep helping out. They'll use you. Yada yada. And I was there, I think 2 or 3 shows over the span of 2 months. I helped unload, load. I drove 2 different wrestlers to the show so they could perform. And sure enough, finally, I get hit back up and they say, hey, would you like to do this? And I was like, wait a minute. I'm not so sure about that in particular that you want me to do, because it kind of didn't mesh with who I was as a wrestler. Because right now, starting out, all I have is my image. Yeah. All I have is my image. All I have is how I can present myself. I'm not... You start out, you don't make the big money. You're trying to make a name. You're trying to show, this is what I can give you.
You can put the foot in the door.
This is why you should pay me. This guy in the background just... I'm still here. By the way, the other Chris is still over here.
Yeah.
Come over to the camera and say hi.
It's a Chris. It's a C3 in here.
I don't care. This is my interview guy.
Hello! You can sit down.
You just want to bother. Say hi to all the random people out there. Like, hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Hey, Beppy.
I'm Dad. But,
I made a poppy.
But the situation ended up being, I tried it out, and it ended up kind of going the way I thought it would go, because I had already had a little funny feeling about it. And so I was feeling a little skeptical about the situation. And sure enough, I leave, and somebody must have taken offense to me feeling skeptical, goes to the booker and says, hey, he was saying this and this and this and this. And then I find out about it, and I got, from what I hear from other wrestlers, the most intense "you're fired" speech ever. When my eyes were ever, it was epic. Which at this point I'm a little bit proud of it. I was like, I'm the only guy to ever get that. But it was mainly because I just wanted to talk about the situation. I didn't say, oh, I'm not doing that. And that's what they kind of took it as, is like, oh, who do you think you are? You're young. You haven't done anything in this business. So freaking, if we want you to do this, you should say yes, sir, and just go ahead and do it. And the situation made me look as a wrestler a little ridiculous by association to that moment. And it just didn't fit me, and I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where I don't even feel comfortable, especially when I'm not really getting like enough moolah to doggone.
Put a little lettuce in the wallet, that'd be nice.
A little lettuce in the wallet, and I'll be like, all right, you want? Cool. But I wasn't even nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, in the world that I see it is with the wrestling, and the thing I wish that would work is that when there's issues, you address it. You could be like, we can have different opinions. We can respect it.
Yes.
If you don't like it, let's work it out. Let's find why is it not connecting. Don't get all hurt if someone says, dude, that's just not me.
And believe me, the doggone response, instead of, as an adult, hey, this is what's wrong, was, F you, screw you, I can't believe your idea. That's all, folks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. And then I played it to some other wrestlers to be like, because I wanted an opinion on the situation. It's like, was I really that wrong? Was I really that wrong? And sure enough, everyone else who heard it was like, dang. Now, I'll admit, who was it? Matt Devlin's dad. CC Devlin? He did tell me, instead of saying anything in the back and asking for wrestlers' opinions and whatnot, I should have gone straight to the booker.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was like, you know what, sir? You're absolutely right. Because if I'd have gone straight to the booker and said, this is how I'm feeling, then there couldn't have been any misconception.
Exactly.
And I completely agreed with that. However, everyone else has been like, man, he's supposed to be this, and he's doing this to you? Really? Is it that way? I'm like, no. You'll be fine. You're fine. And they all saw my responses. You know, I didn't post anything crazy or screenshots because that's not anybody's business. That's our business. But I did show others my responses in text, and they said you carried yourself in a very professional manner, and you handled that as best as you could.
Yeah. Now, I had a situation where I had a booker or a wrestler got all kinds of wrestlers, even Tracy Smothers, and decided not to pay anybody. And the sad part was this show was in Alabama. We were in Georgia. We had to go over there. Mm-hmm. He was supposed to have things, and all of a sudden, it's the old saying. I got this in my PayPal account. Showed us, and we're like, why is it not under your name? And he looked at, and I said, I can solve this problem easily. Got on my computer, typed it up, and he just looked at me, and that's when unfortunately the authorities got called. But that's another story.
Like I said earlier, starting out, you're not really making a whole lot. You got to prove yourself and whatnot, and that's the way I present it.
Yeah.
The other day, I was asked by someone who booked me for a show. He said, "Well, what's your rate?" And I said, in all honesty, well, right now, as long as you can hook me up with some gas money and maybe a little bit extra, I'll be more than happy to come out here. To be honest, there are some shows that I do out of courtesy and respect because I respect that. Obviously, Robert's show, he's my trainer.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come in and be like, put some cheddar in my pocket. But,
$1,000, please.
But I make it very clear that I have big plans for myself. And as I continue to grow and get better, that there will be a price tag on me. I can assure you that they will come. But for right now, while it's just my first year and whatnot, let me come out to your promotion and let me show you what I can give you.
Yeah.
Give me that opportunity, and I guarantee you I will deliver. And if I don't deliver, I apologize. Because in all honesty, I should be delivering. This is my craft.
Yeah.
This is what I'm proud of.
So like we went back, let's go back to the 3-year window, as you called it. Where should we be seeing you then? Let me ask you this way though. So we don't crush everyone's feelings if they watch this.
Okay.
If I was a guy and I said money is not an option at this point, you can have what I'm saying is you're gonna get paid.
Okay.
But so let me put it this way: you're gonna get paid.
Okay.
You're gonna be able to kind of have a good idea where you want what your character is going to be. Where do you want to wrestle? Do you want to be at, if you went mainstream, do you want to be at WWE, Rerun, or Japan?
Or Japan. I've never even considered Japan, to be honest with you.
Well, see, I never really thought about that until like my first 4 guests said Japan. I'm going.
I've heard a lot of guys in Japan because that's where they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I have said no is because, like I said, I haven't even hit my 1-year mark.
Yeah.
It's only been 9 months.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe more experience I'd end up there. Right now, if I had to say anywhere, more than likely the first place you might find me is Ring of Honor. Because Ring of Honor comes around here a lot of times.
Yep.
And at some point, like I said, I'm going to throw my name in the hat and be like, hey guys, I'm over here. Guess what I can do? Hyper strike.
We might need to hashtag that too.
Hashtag. I do. I hashtag Hyperstrike all the time, dude.
Blue Bomber. I like that.
Hashtag Blue Bomber. Hashtag
Mega Man.
Freaking TNA I've heard is, I don't know how much of it is true, but I know Shinron was on there, and I actually just saw him a little while ago at WWA 4, so, when I see things like that, when I see guys like Corey Hollis that was like, I just saw him last week, that motivates me.
Yeah.
It lets me know it's possible. Bust your butt and get there. Freaking, I would say, if anything, probably Ring of Honor first. I would go after TNA because I would see TNA more as a land of opportunity.
Yeah, okay.
But, as history shows, and my trainer said, my trainer's produced and had a hand in making 30-plus WWE superstars. He's told me more than once how doggone Kane has been in his ring training. He told me, I taught Victoria how to do a drop kick. She was so happy she gave me a hug.
Yeah, I love these vets because
Yeah. He's got that raspy voice.
yeah, it's awesome. Because I have a guy that does the same raspy voice, but it's for another wrestler that he knows. It's almost like when you get at a certain point, the raspy voice becomes in every wrestler.
I'm not every wrestler, but I was that way about my sergeants and staff sergeants too. If any of them watch this, then they don't know this is happening yet. Every now and then I do impersonate. That's why I can't wait, man. I'm like, dude, if a place gives me the microphone, it's done, bro. Like, I'm gonna have either everybody in their seats rolling.
So needless to say, you don't need a mic man. You don't need a mouthpiece.
No, I can come up with something outrageous on the spot to say about anybody. When I get in that ring, it's like all bets are off. I don't care what level you think I'm at. I'm gonna go in there, walk, talk, act, perform like I am a top dog because that's my attitude towards it. It's like, oh well, you're the first match. Well, guess what? I'm gonna perform like I'm supposed to be the last match.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one actually in Porterdale we had a little while ago. Everybody had fantastic matches, but I've been getting a ton of compliments on this one, and I am proud of this. Me and Eli Daniels, we did Oz. Did you see that one?
I got to see that.
That one was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. And see what I like about a first match, and I tell it because when I would set a card up, I tell whoever my first match, I look, and if someone I didn't like, I usually put someone I like because of the fact I can look at them and go, man, set this show off, start it off, give these guys to have to step up to something. Because if it was someone that may not, you kind of
I understand. I understand being that first match or the second match.
But what I'm saying, I love how your attitude is because see, I had a couple of guys that said the same thing, and they said, dude, we'll give him a match. Don't worry. I said, all right. And he goes, and then after watching it, the best part was I looked at it, I said, you guys need to be the main event. So next show, I put them in the main event, and my booker looked at me and said, why are you doing it? I was like, trust me, they're worth it.
Yes, absolutely. And that's how I feel about it. I feel like, I might be starting out like that, but I'm going to go in there, I'm going to bust my butt, and I'm going to make you believe when your heart of hearts, next one, be like, well, he did really good last time with such and such. Maybe we should get him up here.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, it doesn't have to be the main event. It's just, you start wherever you start, and then it's on you. Like you said, if I don't give you a good show, that's on me.
Yeah,
I should be giving a good show.
If I do a crappy match, and you say, man, that was absolute garbage, there's no way, I'll be like, all right, cool. And I'll go back to the drawing board and I'll bust my butt to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But you best believe my attitude towards it is, I want to be that guy.
Yeah. Well, no, that's always what you want. I expect every wrestler that, I've ever, like I said, I love working with guys because you got those that go, okay, whatever. And then you got those that go, well, what did I do wrong? Mm-hmm. Can you tell me, what did I screw up?
Yeah, one of the biggest compliments I got was, guys make all these little tops, such and such in Georgia and the Southeast, whatnot. And twice, some fan or something was like, well, where's Chris Henry? And I was like, dude, I haven't even been doing this a year. Because in all respects, I understand, hey, I have no need to be on top list. But it's nice to hear that there are people out there
when you make an impact
who have seen me and go, where's he at?
Yeah, I was like that because see, when I first came into the wrestling or indie wrestling, because see, it's like for me, covering, I was more mainstream and everything, and then my buddy's like, you need to check out the indie scene. I was like, all right, where do I go? So I went to see, and then I got to see some guys, and then one guy caught my attention the most, and he was like in the first, second match, I want to say. And it was Freddie.
Yeah, he's
And the funny thing with him, it was just because he did his voice was hilarious. I was cracking up, but then because you got that when he's doing the yeah, and with the loud pajama pants. But then you're laughing, and then you're going, I want someone to beat this guy. And then you're watching going, oh.
He has quite the respect for the craft. He's very technical. He knows his mat stuff. Doggone. He's a guy who I would expect to be somewhere making quite the impact very soon.
He should. He is. I mean, and like I said, that's what I'm getting the vibe. And I've seen a match of yours live because when I was looking at the picture, I was like, oh, I did see his match. So that's what I'm like. I love guys that are committed to the craft. That's what I like. It's like you're learning. You take from people. You learn. And you do it. So what is it? We talked about the 3 year. We talked about Impact and also WWE. But for you, what is it that you want to see out of this? Your vision. What is your not end game, but more just you're in it. Are you just enjoying the ride? What does it feel like for you?
No, it's not just enjoying the ride. Although I am loving the ride so far. I want to make this into the rest of my life. I want it to be the thing that I'm doing 10, maybe 20 years from now tops. I believe in my heart of hearts that Chris the Hype Henry is someone who can be a big deal on whatever promotion I'm on, because I'm going to be that guy who's going to give them 100%, 120%, no matter what. I want to make you feel that this is my life and I love it.
Man, well, dude, look, I know it's almost 1:30. We've been chatting. I'm having a great time, but guys, I know you have a show tonight, so let's talk about your match. I know, but also promotions you're working with.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, let's get some plugs out. Just see, just like a bald man needs hair.
This is the part where you should have me on your show, because at this point I could be going, hey, this guy over here in such and such town, and this guy over here, come on out there tonight at 7 o'clock. Don't miss it.
God, I miss those days.
Sound like a freaking, what is it, the auctioneer?
Yeah. Like, I got 5, give me 10, give me 10, give me 20.
So today I'm out in Porterdale, Georgia, PCW. Platinum Championship Wrestling, PCW Champion Jeter, Hawken, Stephen Platinum's out there with the Cornerstone, Cornerstone. It's tag season out there, man. It's tag team season. That's when everybody scrounges together and say, hey, give me a partner. Freaking, so not you. Not you.
Marshall.
I'm down there. First time ever. The HYPE Hype Henry teams with the party starter all the way from Tennessee, Jaden Newman. You like that?
I thought you were talking about me.
Not you.
He was getting all hyped. He was all excited, and then he's like,
"Who's Jaden?" You want to be like a manager or a cheerleader?
I just want to throw a chair, man.
Why do you want to throw a chair?
Well, you could have a mouthpiece,
I want to see her put somebody through a table. I'm like, dude.
Hold on. He wants. Chris, come over here.
But yeah, that's tonight. Epic. Yeah. First time ever. No, young man. He's been wanting to do this since he was 14. He's been busting his butt. I saw his want, and I said, hey, man, come out here. Be my tag partner. Let's show these people what we can do. But that's just this Saturday. Tomorrow in Whitesburg, Georgia, all titles are on the line. SECW, Southern Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Oh, I like the voice.
Next Saturday, Douglasville, Georgia, APCW, All Pro Championship Wrestling. My hometown. I team with the returning member of the Slambinos, traveling with the Circle of Disrespect, Tommy Sweets Pinarelli, and Sean Sims, the big bodyguard, to take on Simplified Cody Roberts, Brian Montgomery, and of course, Damian Bennett. I'm not going to call him Silva anymore. He wants to change his name about 5 times. He knows. Moving on. North Carolina, get ready. I'm coming. PWF seminar. Tommy Dreamer seminar. I'm going to bust my butt and show those people what I'm capable of. Put me on your show. Just do it. Like Nike.
No, we're
and then Riverdale, Georgia. Eric Silva, I'm coming for you. February 12th. I can sit here and go on and on, man.
I know. It's like, hold on. I'm still writing all the dates.
If you haven't figured out I'm a hot commodity, you're crazy.
Like socks.
Hot like socks out the dryer.
Oh, but that feels good though.
It does feel good on my piggy.
I
I know there's one more I'm missing. It said Riverdale. I don't want to miss one, and I know there is one I missed. Oh, you, shoot, what was it? Velvet invited me to it, and I know I'm gonna do everything I can to get out there. It's out in North Carolina. We're gonna find out right now. You give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry. The cell phone is out. We don't play. We don't play around here.
You are a crazy man.
SpongeBob. 20 minutes later.
10 minutes later.
Cross street. Still looking for it. Got it. Ooh. Oh,
Hold on.
Candy Crush.
Where is it? We were literally talking about this the other day. What the freak? It should be like, shut up. It's taking a second. I don't want to leave them out. Okay, there it is.
All right.
Okay, there it is. No, that was our funny talk about homosexual slurs.
Oh, wow.
I'm not kidding. There was a whole conversation about that.
You know, it is what it is.
Let's see. Is this it? Let me know what this is. Yeah, there it is. Doggone. Let's see. His post was about, and we talked. UPWA. Velvet had talked to me about that, and I'm gonna bug the crap out of him like a little kid. When you gonna take me? When we going out there? I want to meet everybody. Come on, man, let's go. UPWA. Hopefully, sometime soon. They run. Yes, I'm giving them a plug, even though I've never been there.
Mm-hmm.
They run every third Saturday of every month. Yes, that is correct. Third Saturday of every month. UPWA. Hopefully, I'll be coming your way at some point. With that, good sir, and our whole band of merry men. That sounded a little freaky.
What?
So
Yeah, it does.
So
It does.
be there or be square.
Dude, you have to do it in movie mode.
Yeah.
Be there or be square.
This weekend.
Coming this fall. Speaking of which, off topic, but the movie's coming out this year, man.
I can't wait for Deadpool.
I'm gonna be such a. Oh my god.
Deadpool. I got my boy has a big onesie.
Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
Did you see the new?
So
The
lucky
new
girls
trailer?
gonna go see
I saw that and also saw the Superman Batman, and the only reason I want to watch it is just so someone can beat up Batman and Affleck.
Superman and Batman is gonna be. Look, you can say whatever you want. I guarantee you that film is gonna make some serious.
Oh, they will. It will.
I mean, they introduced Wonder Woman, man.
Yeah.
It's already gonna be another movie.
Yeah.
And if they do it right, if like let's say some people go because there might be some skeptical. Some people go and they say, "Oh my gosh, it was awesome." They tell them all of a sudden it is now known for being awesome. One of the top grossing films, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
You can't put those two guys.
I always say this: you gotta don't when it comes to sequels, don't expect much, because when it's good, you actually feel like you it was a good choice. But Deadpool, oh god, this Ryan Reynolds, it better be good because I'm serious. I'm already hooked just on the commercials alone.
Will.
What is like the funniest on an end note? What are like the best, like the funniest story you have, like on the road, goofing off, having some fun with the guys,
All right. Which, by the way, that is a part of the fun,
Oh,
those
yeah.
road trips. Some of the guys. That's why I like making sure it's like, hey, you want to come out here with me?
At least you'll know you have a good time with somebody.
What's a good funny one? Actually, I'll tell one about Velvet. I've actually only met him one time.
Yeah.
But we've conversed enough on Facebook that we're pretty. I can sense he's a really cool dude and whatnot. The first time me and Velvet met was the PCW Rumble.
All right.
It was at Sacred Ground 6, which, by the way, Platinum Championship Wrestling Sacred Ground pay-per-view. I'm not saying pay-per-view. Well, I'm not sure it's on TV. But it's like
Special event.
It's like their WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's huge. Like it was packed to death. Like it was loud. It was awesome. And sure enough, the Rumble. It's my first time there, and I actually lasted pretty long. I was surprised. Like I was sitting there, and it dwindled down to I think about 8 guys, maybe 7 guys. And I'm like, I'm still in here. Holy crap! Sure enough, finally, I get double teamed. It was actually the first time also that I came in contact with Trevor High. I'm like, I meet him, and he's doing his freaky little crap, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're on, but I'm doggone going this way. And I turn around, and I just got double teamed, like drop kicked out of the ring, and it was a epic double team. Like I got annihilated to get eliminated.
You had like
And
a breakout.
it was bad, dude. Like guy gets me in the corner, it's like then I'm down, it's pick up, and I get thrown out. And Velvet comes along. I didn't know what was going on. I'm lying on the floor. And there's just this person who has come out and just picks me up. And I'm like, man. And then it was Velvet. And I was like, thank you, dude. That was awesome. That was a good one. I told you a story about the mic. Let's see. I know I got one more. Doggone. Well, maybe not. They all start to blur together after a while. You know, there are some that stick out, but I'm just trying to make as much happen and get people to know that I'm here and I mean business as soon as possible.
What's the best way to get a hold of you? Or what's the best way, if someone wants to book you, what's the best way to book you?
Someone wants to book me. Social medias are a fantastic way to make that happen. Facebook, freaking inbox me in a heartbeat, message me. My email is CTH, all capitals, ENRY 816-777 at yahoo.com. And again, CTH, ENRY, CT Henry, 816-777 at yahoo.com. Freaking Instagram, you can DM me in a heartbeat. I'll be more than happy to. No, you can't have this dog. I'll be more than happy to answer you. You know, like I said, I'm very professional. I'm more than happy to work with anybody. And I think I'm capable of a lot, and I can give to your promotion my whole heart. And you can also probably reach me through Robert Gibson and the All Pro Championship Wrestling School. That information, you know, is also on Facebook. Yeah, man. You know, I'm just ready to do this thing and kick it and make it grow and become something that I hope that not just my family can be proud of, but that wrestling fans can be proud of. I want people to say, I want guys like you to say, like, man, I watched him develop.
Yeah, and you know that's what I love about doing these shows is that we take the opportunity to find these wrestlers and just get y'all out there. You know, just to, you know, hey, at least now we have an idea of who you are. You know, because if you really think about it, in this business, y'all, you know, how much of an impact can you make within 15 to 10 minutes? You get out in that ring, wrestle, and leave, and then it's like, so you gotta do everything you can to make that lasting memory, so people can go, why is he not on the top 100? You know, I mean, seriously. I mean, that's what I like, you know, is being able to help in any way. So, man,
I do appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Peace, love, and chicken grease.
Oh, God, chicken grease is always good.
Might I add, every show that I've been to thus far has that was like a blowout performance. Like, to be honest, it was one of those days where I found myself down in the dumps. You know, I'm not gonna lie, you know, probably in the middle of a bottle of Hennessy or something. You know, the hype here will call me and say, "Hey, man, I got a match today," and I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. Let me take this road trip. Light it up. You know, and I see like no lie. We the last recent show that was in Whitesburg, you know, everyone was pretty much stable in their seats, not really making much noise, you know, until the hype came out. You know, disrespected a few kids, you know.
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
No.
It depends on where I'm at and what the crowd is feeling and if they've pissed me off or not and who I'm against.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Trust me, that Whitesburg crowd's kind of funny, too. Because I've been down there. Gotta love it. They sell batteries and wrestling.
It's not the biggest promotion by any means, but, you know, they have their moments. They have their times when they're packed out. That was one where they actually had a good chunk
but
of
thus
crowd.
far, that was one of the best shows I've seen.
I'd like to say that's a place where opportunity is always there. You know, guys like Chip Day, Adrian Armour, they've been down there.
Well, what
Chip
I like
Day's
about,
a big time guy. That's not the biggest
oh,
place.
God, Chip Day is one of the top ones. I remember seeing a countdown. I think it was him and Johnny Rave was up in the top 5. I'm like,
Yeah,
wow.
they're I'd say they're definitely some of the top ones. You know, and sometimes I hear like he's just now hitting his stride, and I'm like, Chip Day's just now hitting his stride. What? He should have been like one of those guys.
That's where you go.
From what I've seen,
it's like, yo, dude, you've been
like he has the attitude. He doggone. I've seen him plenty of times. I wish I could kick like him. Dear God, I wish I could kick like him. There was one the first match I had in Southern Pride.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking he. Like, I get doubled or something. Something happened to me, and I ended up on the outside. And I remember Cameron picks me up, and I'm like, oh, God, where am I going? And Chip's over there on the other side, and he comes running, and pow, and the pop was huge, and I'm just, the whole place is going, oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah. There are some points you're in the crowd, and you hear a pop, and the whole arena feels it. You know, you did your job.
He's good at that, man.
Oh, God. But no, thanks again. I appreciate you so much, Chris. It's always a blessing. Work safe.
Awesome.
Work safe so you can always keep working those dates. Send Robert Gibson our love. And, dude, keep on keeping on. And, man, we're going to keep in touch. I definitely will. Hopefully, I'll be covering Douglas Filler soon.
All right.
I'll bring the audio. I'll bring my audio out there, and we'll do that.
All right, folks.
Well, this is C Double, guys. Check out Chris, the Hype Henry.
The C3
Chris,
interview.
yep. Mr. Chris over here on the other side doing his march on. All right, y'all. I am C Double. This is all Wrestle Talk Nation, the Superstar Spotlight. That's my guest. This is the show. See you later.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah. Wait.